WrestleManiacs, Maniacs. This is the podcast, it's called WrestleManiacs. Adam, Donald, Indian Josh, they're not together forever and son. WrestleManiacs. This is the podcast, it's called WrestleManiacs. WWE, AEW, TNA, JPW. WrestleManiacs.
What's going on, fellow A-Plusters, fellow WrestleManiacs? It's your host, as always, Adam Perez, coming back once again with a brand new video for you guys today, as we are set to go ahead and get into the aftermath of not only the first Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, but also our review in regards to WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show, and I'll see you on the other side. What's going on, fellow WrestleManiacs? It's your boy Adam Perez coming back after a long weekend of WrestleMania Nights 1 and Nights 2. It is just myself here tonight, just so you guys know. It is just myself here tonight. Josh was set to go ahead and join me tonight, but he had, look, when you're a father of a son or of any child, last minute things certainly do come up, and unfortunately Josh could not join us today, taking on his fatherly duties, but you got your boy here. We're gonna what I want to do is, since I had the opportunity to watch Raw tonight, I want to kind of go over Raw in its segments, and any of its segments that connect to WrestleMania. We'll talk about those WrestleMania moments, and then after we talk about Raw, whatever WrestleMania moments were not talked about, then we'll talk about them there. I'm thinking that's the plan for today. Hopefully it won't take too long. Ram Jam, what's going on, Ram Jam? I think Night 1 was a lot better than Night 2 in terms of shock value. Yeah, let's just talk about WrestleMania out the gate before we dive into what happened on Raw tonight. Just overall thoughts. Nights 1 and Night 2. Night 2 WrestleMania by far better for me. If I had to grade both WrestleManias, first WrestleMania, I'm Night 1, I'm anywhere between a 7 and a 7.5 out of 10. Part of me wants to lean towards 7, but I thought, despite, even though some of the matches weren't stellar, I do think that there were some really cool moments in a lot of those matches that made me think to myself, a decent match. But as far as like on a WrestleMania card, probably not. So I thought Night 1 was a little bit lackadaisical at times. Great main event, though. Great main event that blew off the roof, with a great swerve and everything. And then Night 2 just really felt like a full-on WrestleMania night. I mean, full of emotion, great matches. Crowd was really into it. Great WrestleMania moments, some surprises. I mean, they had almost, it felt like every segment almost had something really great or certainly worth celebrating. You know what I mean? And then we got the main event. But overall, despite I thought what was turning out to be a good main event, besides the fact that I felt like the finish was a little bit flat for me personally, I thought second night of WrestleMania was really solid, really enjoyable. That's why I give it a 9 out of 10, and Night 1 a 7, maybe a 7.5 out of 10. If I had to grade this WrestleMania like as a whole, I would say maybe about an 8, maybe a 7.5, 8, anywhere between there. No, I probably would put it 8. Because Night 2 was really, really great. I probably put it at an 8 out of 10 overall. But Ram Jam says tonight's Raw ending was amazing. Yeah, that it certainly was. I think it was you, Ram Jam, or somebody brought it up in our Discord, the idea of the Dangerous Alliance possibly getting back. I don't know if that's the route that they're going, but I think it would be pretty impressive. I mean, when you get two people like Seth Rollins and the surprise appearance here tonight to go ahead and finish off Raw of Braun Breaker, joining the group here. I'm really fascinated by it. You did bring up the idea too, because I'm just thinking to myself, like, man, these guys could be two massive stars. You know what I mean? I mean, together. I mean, Breaker's going to be a star on his own. The idea of him teaming up alongside Rollins, like, I know he can make stardom on his own. So the idea that he's teaming up with Rollins is just that much more bonkers and amazing. And the idea that he's going to have somebody like Paul Heyman in his side and in his corner. Yeah, this could be a dangerous faction that they bring up. I also love your theory about especially concerning what happened with Becky tonight. I would kind of love to see if Becky somehow becomes a part of that team. Get a husband and wife together along with Braun Breaker, and maybe add a tag team, or whoever to that group. I think would be outstanding. So yeah, I do like what we wind up getting here tonight, but we'll definitely talk all about it. So again, I think what I'm going to do for Raw, we'll talk about Raw as a whole, and then from there, anything that it connects to WrestleMania, we'll talk about that particular WrestleMania moment. So tonight kicked off with John Cena speaking facts or truth to the camera and to the audience, to certainly say the least. I love I love how he really mocks the crowd in regards to just how fickle we can be as fans. Booing him, then cheering him, and then calling us disgusting, or calling the fans disgusting when he proves their point about Cody Rhodes, about the idea that you booed him and then you cheered him and then you booed him, and now he's like the worst thing ever. I really don't see the Cody Rhodes hate at all. I don't. I am very much in the camp of, when he comes out there, the people tend to love this man. People cheer for him. He's like one of the highest. I don't even know what his merch is certainly selling. Like, I gotta think it's up there. Him and Jay. So I think fans certainly gravitate towards Cody. I think he's just becoming sort of like the face that you love to hate. He's definitely taking that role of John Cena, of like, I think you guys secretly do like this dude, but this is like, you got to hate on the man first, before you kind of come full circle. But I really enjoy Cody Rhodes. I thought he was been a great champion. May not necessarily cared about some of his title defenses, but I thought that last couple stuff heading into WrestleMania, from the Kevin Owens ladder match, I thought was really great. I thought they'd done some really good things for him going into WrestleMania. But John Cena out here at Raw, speaking facts, talking about the idea that this is going to be sort of like the last belt in this legacy, that he's taking this belt home with him. And this is the belt that carries sort of like all the prestige. So Homeboy's under the impression, like, look, I got 27 days that I owe to WWE, 27 appearances. Homeboy's already been counting them down. Which I find interesting. And it almost seems like there is a countdown to his retirement now. And I would beg the question, if this man defends his title, and continues to be champion come 27 days later, and actually walks out of this company with the title, that'll be interesting to see. Like, will they have to create another title? He kind of teased something like that on ESPN earlier on today, I think on the Pat McAfee show. He's talking about the idea that they might have to create a whole new belt by the time he's done. Really wanting to be sort of like the last of that legacy. I personally don't think that's fair. I think that sounds stupid. I think the lineage of the WWE Championship should continue on. I mean, I definitely do consider John Cena one of the GOATs, but to kind of end a legacy of WWE championships just with his name, nah, like, we're not about to do that, bro. Like, okay, just keep this lineage going, man. We don't got to stop anything. But so I thought that was interesting. And then, of course, maybe the man to go ahead and stop him, somebody that I did not expect to kind of see pop up, but maybe I should have, Randy Orton. And I find it fascinating here, and I'm really interested to kind of see how this turns out. A couple things right off the bat. One, we know Randy Orton would like another crack at the title. I mean, he even looked his friend dead in the face a couple weeks ago and said, "Look, I'm gonna come I'm going to let you know I'm coming after your title. But I guess now he doesn't have to worry about that going after Cody Rhodes. Now the man in his sight is John Cena. And so the fact that John Cena's got the belt, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, can Randy Orton win? What would it be? His 15th? His 15th championship or some crazy shit like that? I can see John like in a retirement match against Randy, or Randy pulling off the upset, because then you can go straight from Randy into a Cody Rhodes storyline. And I feel like I've heard a lot of people wanting to get that based off of their friendship alone, a Randy Orton and Cody kind of storyline, or for the title. And this would certainly be um another way into that segment if you certainly wanted to. So I would be kind of curious. Randy Orton is the legend killer. So the fact that Homeboy came out here, gave John Cena a fantastic RKO, the people went crazy. They definitely want this match, and I certainly want this match up there also. Um, Ram Jam says they're going to be in St. Louis for a Backlash. What's up, Laser? Good to see you in here today. He says, I'm here finishing up 3 classes 2 months before school ends. Good luck in that final push, man. Ram Jim, he says he's up there. Yeah, I think he's got 14 world titles right now. I would love to see Randy Orton get a 15th. I guess the big question is, who would John Cena allow himself to be pinned by to like fully retire? I am wondering if they'll allow Randy Orton to be the one, even though I am kind of curious how many more years. Like, usually you want to give it to I don't want to say you want to give your retirement to like an up and coming star or anything like that. I would think you would want Cody Rhodes to certainly pin him in his final match. So I'm kind of curious if Randy will take the belt off of him very briefly and lead into something with Cody going out until something along the lines of like SummerSlam, or will John actually have like a title defense and keep it long enough to face off against um Cody again? Because right now those are the only 2 people in my head that I find worthy enough to take this title off of him. Randy, because he's calling his shot right now, and Cody. And either of those men I think Cena would take an L to. So I'm kind of curious. But yeah, Randy Orton comes out, hits the RKO on Cena, and gets Raw kicked off. Let's talk a little bit about, since we're talking about Cena, let's talk a little bit about his WrestleMania match here with Cody. I thought the match itself was actually building up to be a pretty good match, to be honest with you. It really, for me, didn't go sideways until Travis Scott's music kicks on. And I'm like, first he comes out, and I'm like, okay, cool. He's just getting the crowd warmed up, because right after him is going to be The Rock, and The Rock never shows up. It's like you got your henchmen going out there to get involved in a match. And yeah, while it's, I get it, it's Travis Scott. It's like, it's not The Rock. Like, why would you let Travis be such a huge part in the WrestleMania, main event? And my thing too is like, this is the biggest stage of them all. The Rock has tried 2 years in a row to get this title um off of Cody Rhodes. Like, why wouldn't he be there to ensure that that actually happened? It just felt really flat to me in that sense. And the fact that it just takes like one nut shot and a belt to the head to go ahead and to win the match. I don't know. Not to say that I wanted a circus like WrestleMania 40's ending was, but I think you could have told some really great story with a Rock involvement or something along those lines, or the involvement of somebody else to maybe back up Cody. I don't know, but the ending was a little anticlimactic for me, despite the idea that I am really happy that John Cena got his 17th world title. The whole all black and like just his name sort of entrance, I thought really struck on the biggest stage of them all, sort of thing. And then on top of that, we got my son is like crying up a storm out there all of a sudden. My girlfriend's with him now, he'll be okay. I think he's probably trying to get ready for bed, and he doesn't want he doesn't want to probably. But I'm glad that John Cena got his 17th title for sure. It was definitely something I predicted since Elimination Chamber, so I'm glad to see it come to fruition. I just wish the build up and the storyline towards the ending of that match was a little bit better. But like leading up to that, I had no problem with this match at all. Just a little bit disappointed in its anticlimactic aspect of it all. Speaking of Randy Orton, also at WrestleMania, we know that he had an open challenge. We don't know who was going to face him. If you guys were here for our predictions, a couple of names that we had thrown out. We thought Rusev was going to come back for his return against Randy. That didn't happen. I think we said maybe Nick Aldis, and I took a wild shot and I said maybe from TNA, give me Moose or Joe Hendry. And I said his name, and he must have heard me because Homeboy wind up showing out at WrestleMania that night, which was incredible to me. He heard my name. He showed up. I was so happy to see him, to be quite honest with you, and he seemed thrilled to be there. Now, look, I've been hearing some smoke about this match. I've been hearing like people say it was flat, it was disappointing. I had a ball with this match, and I say that in the sense of like, one, I felt like at this point, whoever they brought out, Randy Orton is such a big star. I don't know if Randy Orton would have taken the L at WrestleMania anyway. I think they probably would have given this easy W. So this felt very much like a showcase sort of spot for WrestleMania for me. So when I see Joe Hendry come out, first off, I think it's a huge moment in wrestling. Not just for WWE and TNA, but I don't know if I don't know if WWE has had a big, like a championship from another organization um showcased on WrestleMania like that before. If I'm incorrect, certainly go ahead and let me know. I'm trying to think of like WCW days during like the Invasion type of era. But like another active organization that they haven't bought to put another world title on the biggest stage of them all like that. I mean, we know that they're working now even closer with TNA, but for them to spend a match on WrestleMania highlighting another organization, I think is really really great for wrestling. To be quite frank with you, and despite how some people might have felt about the match, I love that moment for Joe Hendry. Like I really do. His face was genuine. I mean, this is the most people in his entire career I'm sure he's had ever sort of chanting his name. So I think the moment alone of just being there is got to be a core memory for Joe Hendry. And in my eyes, like that's a massive success. You know, like the people went crazy for this man. The pop was huge. Everybody was singing his song. They wanted him there. It was definitely an eventful moment. He put up some offense here or there, but it's Randy freaking Orton, man. A couple RKOs, definitely enough to go ahead and do the work, and he takes the pin. And look, no shame to Joe Hendry for being out there, man. Like you're not even on the main roster of Raw or SmackDown, and you got a spot on WrestleMania and recognized. And I think that's regardless if you're taking an L or a W at WrestleMania. I always say to people all the time, like, not I'm sure that you want to win, right? I'm sure you want to win a bit and have a big sort of WrestleMania moment, maybe win a title or whatever the case may be. But to have a moment like that for Joe Hendry, yeah, man, that's going to live with him forever. Even if this man doesn't, even if, heaven forbid, he never makes it to the WWE ever again, that's definitely going to be a moment. And if that makes that dude happy, I think as wrestling fans, we should be happy too. So I really enjoyed the Randy Orton stuff that we wind up getting at WrestleMania. But let's get back to Raw here real quick. After that, we had a rematch for the women's tag team titles. Liv and Raquel facing off against the new champions that just whipped their ass last week or last night. Not last, not well. I want to say whipped their ass, but certainly took them by surprise. Where's the graphic for this matchup? I thought I had it. Did somebody take it down all of a sudden? Where is it? Oh, there we go. Yeah, we were supposed to have Bailey as Lyra's partner, but Bailey wound up getting attacked that night at WrestleMania. And Lyra needed some backup. And lo and behold, the backup ends up being Becky freaking Lynch, dude. Out of nowhere. I thought she was done with wrestling at least for like another year or so. But Becky Lynch surprisingly showed up at WrestleMania to be Lyra's partner. And not only that, but actually win the titles. Look, I'm going to be completely honest with you. When Becky Lynch walks out, hi, my boy. The magic of live TV. I didn't lock my door. What's up, my man? Want to say hi to the people? Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah, Daddy's doing a show right now. You gonna be okay?
Yes.
Where's your mommy? Okay, come on. Give me 1 second, guys. Come on, let's go. Let's go find mama. Let's go find mama. And that's my little boy making his first ever appearance. Maybe on his second appearance. We'll see. All right, where was I? Oh, yes. Lyra and Becky winning the women's tag team championship match. The moment she walked out, I knew like, oh, this is we have new we have new champions. But I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of glad to see how things unfolded tonight on Raw because while I am happy for Lyra and becoming like two belts Lyra, um, I definitely expected this spot to be switched with Charlotte Flair in regards to the older generation coming in and like just snatching opportunities and like titles off of people from just showing up randomly at a WrestleMania in a big surprise or a quick spot, like let's give it to the vet sort of thing. I was like, please, Becky, don't tell me you're gonna start becoming like Charlotte Flair. But the fact that the following night tonight on Raw, we had the rematch here. Apparently Liv and Raquel's like, look, you caught us by surprise, we weren't ready for the surprise opponent, especially not Becky Lynch. Give us another opportunity. They got their opportunity tonight, and we got new world women's tag team champions again. The champions being Liv and Raquel once again. This is like I think they're now officially 4-time women's tag team champions, which is I think probably the most. I'm trying to remember who might have held it 2 or 3 times, but I gotta think this is the most that a woman team have held that particular title, and they're legit credible. Like they're legit credible. I'm really becoming a fan of both of these women in the ring as a tag team, and I love their chemistry together, their friendship and bond, and it really shows when they wrestle. But this was a great freaking match. I felt like a lot of the matches tonight, or the stuff that we got, was actually pretty good. But from a wrestling point of view, yeah, man, this tag team match was legit. We got new tag team champions, and to make matters worse, Becky turns on Lyra in this episode too, pissed off that they wind up losing it. So I guess you're only as good to Becky as long as you're winning, sort of thing. So she didn't really give any words, but she put an ass whipping on, and I'm kind of curious to see like where they go from here. If as we talked about earlier, does she join up with this new stable that we have forming here between Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker? So I am curious if she is back to her sort of the man persona, if she wouldn't mind teaming up with her husband and doing some business together. I think that would be perfect, to be honest with you. But we'll definitely have to see. But yeah, I thought they had a great match at WrestleMania. And I thought they had another good one here also. I think this turned out to be really, really good. We also did finally here get the return of Rusev. I know some of us were certainly maybe thinking he might come back as the open challenge to Randy, but he did not. He came back today. He was going to destroy the New Day. I think we had the New Day come out and be challenged by Alpha Academy, but then they wind up getting interrupted by Rusev, and then Rusev came out and then destroyed the Alpha Academy. So yeah, he definitely made a statement. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Rusev was cool back in the day. You know, he had a really great run as a United States champion. But I have not followed his career when he went to AEW. Did he recreate himself? Did he seem more formidable? That they use him properly? You know, I just don't want to feel like we're rehashing another guy that, you know, might end up having the same career that he had the first time that he was here. Like, are they going to utilize him well enough? Would be my biggest concern when it comes to Rusev. Next up, we got Io Sky coming through from right after her WrestleMania encounter within an incredible triple threat match. I think we said it in predictions that this could probably end up being the best match on the card, or at least really up there, and it definitely lived up to that moniker. I mean, this was a fantastic match. The crowd was hot for all three of these ladies. I mean, I'm talking about just great counter after counter. Some of the near falls in here were really breathtaking too. It was just an incredible night to go ahead and kick off night two. Like, when we got this match, you just knew that the rest of this card was going to be fire. I mean, hell of a match. There was a really cool reverse Rana that Io was going to attempt, I believe, um, onto Rhea, and then she reversed it, like flung Io into the turnbuckle, which looked pretty sick. And then I think a couple of moments after that is when Bianca and Rhea got involved with each other, only to kind of lose sight of Io, who was at the top rope getting ready to do her moonsault, and literally like flattened them, almost like sandwiched Rhea. That bump looked pretty sick, and Io wound up becoming victorious. Really happy for Io, man. The crowd was hot for Io too. You know, one of the things talking about in prediction was like, this woman's just overlooked and overshadowed. Like, they really are purposefully kind of pushing her to the background of this match, and she showed why she should certainly be up there. So Io got her moment here on Raw to certainly shine, but then it was quickly interrupted by our NXT champion Stephanie Vacar. I mean, just recently a former two belt champion. Not only was she the NXT Women's Champion, but also the Women's NXT North American Champion also, if I'm not mistaken. I think she relinquished that title after defending it once. But Stephanie's been on a freaking tear, man. And she came out here to show respects to Io tonight, and not only that, but to challenge her, saying she wanted to face the best of the best. And believe it or not, we got it here tonight. And this was a great matchup, also living up to the hype of what I wanted to see. There was a cool move, I think, from Stephanie here, where she did like this twister whirl move, but instead of going into a backbreaker, I think did Io, I think, reverse it into like a backslide pin or like a roll up or something like that. It was pretty sick. But yeah, these two ladies were just going back and forth. But unfortunately, this one was interrupted too. Roxanne came out, interrupted the match. Julia came out, interrupted. Was it Juliana or Julia came out and interrupted the match? It really saw all of a sudden it's turned into like an NXT showcase. So I was a little bit bummed that we didn't get ourselves like a definitive answer. But the NXT women got over. I almost feel like this is leading up to a worlds combined sort of match. Um I think they have a Worlds Collide event coming up here soon. I think they announced it. I can't quite remember the day of it. Um, I I think it's like the same weekend as Money in the Bank, or maybe I'm wrong there. But I do wondering if they're setting up some matches for Worlds Collide, because I do want to see another Io and Stephanie match, like for a title perhaps. But I would love to see that. But yeah, lived up to that hype for sure. And I'm really glad that Stephanie got the opportunity to shine on the first Monday after Raw, which is always the biggest Raw. Also, Ram Jam saying, yeah, WWE just brought the AAA promotion. Yeah, I saw that. Ram Jam says Becky's probably going for the women's IC title. Yeah, I don't, I was just thinking to myself that, like, is that a downgrade for her? But it's a brand new title. Like, why wouldn't you be open to that? And if you can capture that title, I mean, you're just putting your legacy and building up that title's reputation. So to be one of the women to be like, yeah, I even got that belt also. That's like a grand slam champion. I don't know, but definitely added to the list. Ramjan says Rusev was barely on AEW. Yeah, see, that's what my concern is. It's like, how good is he? How much has he changed since the last time that we saw him? Or is he gonna just default back to what he certainly used to be? But yeah, man, that Io Sky probably probably match of the night for me, honestly. The swerve was everything, but from like a technical, clean finish match, I would probably say this was probably match of the night for me. I'll let you guys know by the end of this what I really felt, or like after talking about some of these matches. But that might be it. We also get the opportunity to see Jay Uso, fresh off of his night one victory, the very first match of WrestleMania. Yeah, Jay Uso versus Gunther, which was turned out to be an okay match for me. A little bit slow, a little bit boring at times. I thought. Let me look at my notes here real quick. We did have some pretty close calls, I thought, in regards to like hitting all their finishers on each other and them still being able to kind of kick out. Um, I thought that was a pretty cool spot for this match, but it's a little bit forgettable for me until we get to the finish where Jay hits like 3 frog splashes, something crazy like that. And I was really shocked that Homeboy wind up putting on the sleeper hold. I was like, the sleeper hold? Like, what? Come on, Jay. I know you got more moves than that. But once he put it on, we got that quick tap out. I was like, wait a minute. Like, look, let me just say this. I don't know, because that was Gunther seemed like eager to tap out. I mean, that shit was super quick. Okay. My man put the sleeper hold on him. He's in there for like 2 seconds. He's like, I'm like, bro, there ain't no way. Ain't no way, Gunther. So he felt a little bit too eager to tap. And I kind of have a problem with this spot. And I'm gonna say this real quick. Like, one, I wonder who calls that? Who calls the quick tap? Was that a creative decision that they made in the back, or is that something that Gunther just decided to do now? Because one, I don't think that made anybody look good. And I think if that's your decision when you're in there, you got to make it believable. Like, I don't care if maybe Gunther was pissed. Maybe Gunther, didn't want to drop the title that way. So he just tapped out real quick. But I'm just thinking to myself, like, as a professional, I would think you want to go out there, and regardless of what the outcome is, you got to make this other guy look cool. Like, you got to make him look good. You got to put Jay over. And that just felt like I would think you would want it on tight, telling them, like, have them hold you down and really like put you out, bro, or at least like pass out. You know what I'm saying? But like to tap, like, that's such a bitch move, Gunther. Like even from like a wrestling position of like, one, that makes you look like a bitch because then everybody can say you tapped out. But then two, just makes you look like an asshole because you didn't help get your man over by just wanting to get out of there, like, and call it a day. Like, no, let this man choke you out if you're gonna have him choke you. Like that, it was just weird. Homeboy didn't work on the neck at all match long, sort of thing, right? It just felt like an odd ending to it. It just kind of deflated things a little bit for me. So look, I'm glad for Jay. I really did, but I honestly thought they would have like a rematch tonight and Gunther would just take the belt off of him. But instead, they wind up having Gunther come out and literally choke a man out to death. It felt like I didn't think Pat McAfee was going to survive tonight. My man was turning purple like a grape. You see his face turn red and then purple. I really do think he put my man to sleep. I really do. Maybe he's just a really good actor. And can sell really good, but my man was like gasping for air all the way to the back. Somebody get this man to the emergency room quick, because that shit look real, should look real to me. But yeah, good stuff though. But yeah, so Jay comes out, gets ready to celebrate. There are times when Jay is really good on the mic. There are the other times when I'm like, I don't think he's that good on the mic. When he speaks from his heart and you can see the emotion, absolutely. But he comes out tonight to talk a little bit about his match, and out comes Sami Zayn. Oh, 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 oh. I honestly thought this man was coming out to challenge him. I really did. You can feel the intensity in the air. Like, wait a minute, why is Sammy out here? Like, yeah, he's out here as a friend to celebrate, but like, does he have ulterior motives? But he didn't pull the trigger on here. He just literally came out to celebrate with his boy, tell him he loved him, tell him he was proud of him. Even Jimmy came out. It was a great it was a great time. I have a feeling though. Maybe next week it might be a different tune. Like next week, I can easily see Jay Uso coming out and wanting to talk to the crowd, and then Sami Zayn's music comes back on again, and this is like a repeat from this week. But this time he's like, "Look, I've said my congratulations, but I want that title, bro." Like I can see it happening as quickly as next week, to be honest with you. Like, don't drag this out, Sammy. Don't drag this out. Like, if this is just business, just make it just business, bro. But I can easily see like next week Sammy actually throwing down the gauntlet to challenge him for the title. So we'll see. But consider that they're best friends. I think that would be really fascinating, honestly. Yeah, Ram just says there are no friends when you're the champion. Yeah, absolutely. It's like now that you have the title, you almost have to have expected me to you got a target on your back, bro. What did you think is gonna happen? And I think Jay would be open for it in the sense of like friendly competition. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was I think Sammy's just laying the groundwork. Butter him up real nice first, hit him with the respect, and I love you, bro. And then next week challenge him. We also had an IC title match here this week. Also, awfully the fresh face champion. We wind up having ourselves a fatal four-way with Braun Breaker at the time as champion, Penta, along with Finn and Dominic Mysterio. And this was another really fun match too. Night 2 really just did not disappoint for me, honestly. Great match here. Dom winds up picking up the win. Some interesting confrontations here between Dominic and Finn. I think Dominic was the first one to strike, putting him into the 619 position, only for Finn Balor to catch it and come to the realization like, okay, this is all men for themselves. And then that's when they started beating each other into a bloody pulp here. Dom takes advantage of a situation here, winds up frog splashing Finn, no less, pinning Finn to become the new IC champion, man. This was really, really fun. I'm like so happy for Dominic, like I truly am. One great moment that I really loved is as he's leaving the ring, he's like halfway up the ramp, and then he looks back and rushes back into the ring, only to pose again. I mean, the crowd went crazy for him. The crowd was so happy for him. His first singles title, very well deserved, man. I hope he has a lengthy and really sort of enjoyable and refreshing run for the IC title. Like, I love Braun Breaker. I can understand why he might have dropped it, but I could see Braun Breaker being like a 6-7 time IC title champion. Like, he could literally get this belt back anytime that he wants to. But I think the fact that he's going to be in a bigger program right now with Rollins in them, shine him up a little bit for the main event. That main event status too, and bring him along that way. I'm sure he'll battle for the IC title at other points in time, but I kind of want Dom to have a really great title run. And tonight they put him up against Penta, and I'm like, oh God, they're really like, Finn's gonna screw this man over. Penta's gonna become champion, like another title change on Raw. It didn't happen that way though. It did not happen that way. As we wind up getting Dom to go ahead and pin Penta here with the help of a returning JD. So yeah, man, I'm so happy that JD is back. I don't know how active Homeboy is certainly gonna be, but if he can be there, just feeling better enough to be on TV, yeah, man, I'm so glad that he's certainly returning. And I think this just adds even more fuel to the fire for Judgment Day, in the sense of, like, clearly Finn feels some type of way, and they brought JD back. Like, Finn didn't even seem like he knew JD was going to return. So, like, is JD building another bond with with Dominic, that Finn is just completely being kicked out of this group, and nobody's talking to him about anything? Look, to Finn's credit, he hasn't wanted to add another member to the group. Maybe because he knew JD was coming back, he wanted him to hold that spot also. So, maybe Finn pushing against that idea of Dom certainly helped benefit the return for JD. So that's always a good way of looking at it. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I am wondering what's gonna happen between JD and Finn. I wonder, is he gonna blame Finn for his injury? Because maybe Finn wasn't there when he injured himself to protect his boys. I wonder if JD has an excuse if he ends up turning on Finn also as part of Judgment Day. I have no idea, but if anything, I will say this allows the IC title to actually be on TV more. And I think because Dom is so integral to Raw every week, they feel like they always have Judgment Day storyline and something, right? Like, you barely miss them. Maybe it'll put the IC title on the line a little bit more, gain some more recognition towards it. So yeah, I kind of dig the idea. But it was a great match at WrestleMania, and another fun one here with the return of JD this week. Then we had Gunther come out and choke Pat McAfee, which is crazy. And then last but not least, when it comes to Raw, at least, we have our new WWE heavyweight champion in Seth freaking Rollins, who had a great match going up against triple threat match, another match of the night. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and CM Punk here. Everybody had really great moments in this match. Where are my notes from that night? Sick entrance by Seth Rollins. I really loved his entrance. I did find it odd that Roman Reigns comes out second. I put dope dynasty entrance for Reigns. Yeah, as he was walking down the ramp, I love how they had these things just like drop down behind him that had images of the legacy that kind of came before him. I thought visually that was just really stunning for Roman Reigns' entrance. But they did leave the last entrance to CM Punk, and the place blew off. I love that he had the live band there performing it. I mean, man, that just added so much. I mean, all three men had a fantastic entrance that I think hyped up the crowd, to certainly say the least. Some great moments in here. A spear to the pedigree was great. I thought that was a pretty crazy 2 count. There was a go to sleep right after a spear. Pretty sick moment also. I put Rollins destroying the table spot and the spear as well, and he winds up. There was even a deep sharpshooter in this one also. I mean, they had some really great moments out of this triple threat match here. But the one that everybody is certainly talking about is the double swerve that we wind up getting from Paul Heyman in here. Giving the chair to Punk, making you think, up, he's on Punk's side, then hitting him in the balls. Well, I guess it's like a triple swerve then hitting homeboy in the balls, CM Punk, and then giving the chair over to Roman, only for then Roman to get low blowed too by Paul Heyman, all while Seth Rollins' back is turned. All this goes down, and by the time it's all done, Seth Rollins is just standing there with his back turned, just waiting to receive the steel chair from Paul Heyman. It was like a master manipulator's plan kind of coming together, and he doesn't even have to watch it unfold. He just hears about it. He knows everything that's going down behind him, and he just stands there in his glory. Like, I thought it was really phenomenal television, to be honest with you, and a crazy swerve. But I'm glad that Seth Rollins has some great moments at WrestleMania. I mean, the one that he still has where, he's got a couple great moments, right? Not only where he steals the title from cashing in at WrestleMania, but the great moment of the craziest RKO we've probably ever seen him taking, when he gets thrown off of the head of Randy Orton, going for the stomp, and now pulling Paul Heyman into his circle and having him screw over the two top people that he's worked with in the past. So I'm actually really looking forward to this combination, and to kind of see them tonight on Raw, and clearly forming some sort of group here. I thought was pretty cool. I mean, they didn't even really give Seth Rollins an opportunity to talk too much. He was kind of getting into his bag of like, going to talk highly of himself. I think even Paul Heyman had a little bit of an introduction for him before CM Punk wind up breaking it up and coming out to have a fight with him, only for then, who else came out? Punk came out. Roman Reigns came out. Yeah, so Punk came out first. Seth Rollins took advantage of Punk, raked his eyes because Punk got distracted and going after Paul Heyman. And that's how Seth Rollins got the upper hand. And then Roman comes out to go ahead and take care of Seth. And then that goes south after Braun Breaker gets involved and gives a tribal chief a spear. So crazy stuff, man. The crowd went crazy for the reveal of Breaker in here tonight. I cannot wait to see what this team forms to turn into, honestly. I mean, if I'm what is this kid? What's my kid screaming for, bro? It's like midnight right now. But but yeah. So he's I'm really fascinated to see what this team is going to be like. I think if they can put together, get behind them some really great talent, man, this is going to be an amazing sort of stable, to certainly say the least. I mean, Seth Rollins has always been a Triple H guy, right? So with Triple H involved, yeah, man, I definitely expect big things in 2025 for Seth Rollins. I think it's going to be a really great year for him, honestly. But yeah, that's Raw in a nutshell. And let me know some of your guys' thoughts out of this too. Let me see what some of you guys said. Ram Jim says Lyra and Cody found out the hard way. Yeah, they did. It's time for Braun Breaker to move on. Yeah, I'm kind of oh, he says he wants them to be known as Rex Steiner. Yeah, I kind of want the Steiner name back. I want him to embrace it. Like, we all know who you are, dude. Hungry Almighty, what's up, Hungry? We're seeing a retirement tour being 27 more days. My best guess is he's only gonna do like 2 or 3 Raws or SmackDown a month and one PLE match per month. Yeah, it could be something along those lines. Who says, I hope we see Cena and Styles one last time. I'm really curious where they're taking AJ Styles. Let's talk about this real quick because we wind up getting night 2. We wind up getting ourselves AJ Styles against Logan Paul. And I think, at least I personally was looking for a better match. This was at an odd placement in the evening too. This almost felt like the break match to me in between the rest of night 2, quite honestly. So I was a little bit disappointed in it. Solid, but I think it was probably the weakest one on the card, surprisingly. The ending, I think, just kind of really threw me off. I appreciate what Karrion Cross is doing in regards to this particular storyline, but to have him just kind of, I don't know what route they're going, or if this is like a long game for AJ for him to eventually get back that darker persona that Karrion Cross wants him to have. AJ talks about he didn't like that person when he saw him in the mirror and doesn't want to go back to it. But I am curious if Karrion Cross will end up sort of forcing that out of him. Because yeah, for him to take like the noble route at WrestleMania and not use the uh the knuckles and stuff, I don't want to say I was disappointed in AJ, but I guess I would have rather have Cross sort of interfered, whether that had been for good or bad, instead of AJ just refusing to do it, and then taking the L, honestly. But yeah, that's just me. But I feel like there's a bigger story kind of being told here. Whether this means Carrion's going to get sort of that spotlight and that push that he deserves with the help of AJ. I just hope like AJ's last couple years in WWE isn't like to just get other talent over. Like, I hope that's not his only thing. I hope that there's at least 1 or 2 major stories for AJ leading into his final years. But we'll have to see. If it is a Cena and Styles, I would love to see that matchup again. Honestly, one more time at least. Ram Jim says, I believe that's where it's going. Carrying Cross did a pipe bomb. Yeah, I watched the pipe bomb and I was like, damn, dude. Like, I hope after that people aren't mad at him so much as they're like, okay, that's how you really feel. All right, let's see if we can put some of that anger and that resentment like to good use and really build off of this moment. Look, I've never really been a big Carrying Cross fan, but I have liked the way that he speaks, and I think he's really good on the mic. And after seeing him drop that pipe bomb, and yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing what they could actually make of him. You know what I mean? Um, all right, let's go back up to night 1 here for Mania. We talked a little bit about the Gunther and Jay match. After that, we wind up having the War Raiders. That's right. We had ourselves a tag team championship match. The War Raiders against New Day. This was a solid match. I enjoyed it for what it was. I feel like this match and then the next match, Naomi Jade, decent matches with moments in it, but nothing to really cry, call home about, sort of thing. But I do like the belts on New Day here. I think they're pretty over as heels. And I am looking forward to seeing what they do next. If Alpha Academy is really going to be sort of like their next couple of opponents, I wouldn't mind seeing Alpha Academy kind of get some shine also here and some of the younger tag teams once again. So we'll see how it turns out. But I do like New Day being the tag team champions here. But again, decent match, but kind of forgettable also. And then we had the Naomi versus Jade match here. Um Again, look, I will say this. I thought Naomi looked great in this match. Now, I hadn't really seen much of her heel era um, since she's been on SmackDown because I don't get a chance to watch SmackDown very often. But she's got an aura about her as a heel that I'm a really big fan of. Like there seems to be like a lot more confidence in her performance. She seems a little bit smoother at times. She just feels like this is like a natural role for Naomi. And I am liking her as a heel in this. Um, and I think for me, while I didn't care too much about this match, I thought it actually had some pretty cool moments though. Like Jade catching Naomi midair in a suplex and then turning it into a like a jackhammer suplex. It was pretty crazy. She had some pretty awesome like feats of strength in here. There was also a top rope bulldog that looked great, a split leg moonsault off the corner from Naomi, which looked great. I thought the feats of strength in this match was just incredible. Also, my only thing is like Jay just still doesn't look comfortable at times in the ring, and I just need her to get a little smoother and cleaner with her moves. I think she has to um use her height and her length maybe more to her advantage and get more comfortable with just how tall she is in that particular ring at times. So I would like to see her continue to get more ring time in the sense of just getting more fluid as a wrestler. And I think maybe we can have something. But when Jade catches fire and Jade really gets into her like strong woman bag, the people do pop. The people go crazy. So there is certainly potential there. So hopefully she continues to get some great training and work with just great female wrestlers also. Hopefully she gets better. But yeah, the War Raiders New Day and Naomi Jade, not something I care to really remember too much, but some great moments I thought in those matches. Then we wind up having LA Knight versus Fatu, which was a really great match. This one really, I think, started waking the crowd up after like the first three moments. It felt like there was a lot of energy exhausted in the Jay versus Gunther match because of all the yeeting that certainly went on and the celebrating. So I think when you get hit with War Raiders and New Day, Naomi and Jade, it's kind of like a low energy type of thing. And then once LA Knight comes out and Fatu, I do feel like this pay-per-view then takes a positive shift going forward. I love the LA Knight entrance, homeboy pulling up with the top down, looked fantastic. Um, for some reason, while I'm watching this match, the only thing I could think of is, man, Fatu almost reminds me of like a younger Samoa Joe almost. Maybe not so crazy, but like he's just got this swag and this confidence about him. And I was just thinking to myself, like, this feels like a Samoa Joe, like in his prime, just almost indestructible, just brutal. People are afraid of this man. And I just kept thinking I would love to see a Fatu versus Samoa Joe sort of dream match if that ever happens. I hope Joe gets the opportunity to come back to WWE at some point because I would love to see that match. But I really love the chemistry between these two guys. LA Knight and Fatu felt hard hitting to me at times, felt like true mid card to main event talent, like contending for a title. These guys are very believable to me. I thought the BFE out of the moonsault was pretty crazy when Fatu goes to hit a moonsault and LA Knight catches him in the BFE. Crazy spot. But we do have ourselves a new champion in Jacob Fatu. So glad this man winds up having a title. The guy's a freaking beast. Sometimes there's just people that you watch that are just undeniable, like you just have it. Yeah, Jacob Fatu is the dude right now. Give this man any title that he wants to right now, and people will legit believe it. Okay, so I'm not mad at this. I love this. I hope that this is a feud that continues. To be quite frank with you, but I do love it. Um, After that, we were gonna have the Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano match,
But then I think the SmackDown prior, we talked about this in predictions. The SmackDown prior, they wind up having, I believe it's Rey Mysterio winds up getting injured on SmackDown, and they need sort of a last minute in to this match, and they kind of built it up in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, where I believe Rey Fenix eliminates Chad Gable, and so I guess it then pushes Rey Fenix into a spot on the WrestleMania card. I had a really great time with this match too. I heard some people say that just this felt like a filler match, but considering Rey Fenix's first time on the big stage, this match seemed clean as hell to me. I didn't think Rey Fenix was nervous out there at all for somebody that hasn't really grappled with Chad Gable before. I thought they had some really great transitions. That 460 backwards senton was kind of crazy. I don't think he hit it as flush as he certainly would have liked to, but a hell of an impressive move to certainly say the least. And then I think Rey Fenix and El Grande Americano had a lot of great chemistry together. I wouldn't mind seeing that matchup happen again. But I would assume, if anything, I am curious if Rey was going to win this match originally, Rey Mysterio, or if with the last minute sub, they decided to go ahead and give it to El Grande Americano. Felt a little bit unjustified, but I get it because it's Rey Fenix. If it was Rey Mysterio, I might be a little bit more pissed, not gonna lie. But El Grande Americano picks up his first WrestleMania W, which is crazy to me. After that, we did have Shawn Michaels came out for a little bit. I think he just came out. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe he just came out to announce like the attendance or something like that. And then I don't know why I put this in my notes, but Dana White came on the teleprompter or the big screen, and I said, did they boo Dana White? It sounded like people were booing my man in Vegas, but maybe I was wrong, because he had this, if you go back and look at it, the face that he makes, he's like like he wasn't expecting that response. But maybe I'm tripping, dude. Maybe I'm tripping. And then after that, we had the co-main event of the night, which was Tiffany Stratton going up against Charlotte Flair. I had a feeling that Tiffany was going to win this, but I wind up picking Charlotte Flair for this match just because I'm so used to her being the one to just dispel people's dreams at WrestleMania. And wind up just winning title after title. I thought this was going to be the same situation here. Guys, I had a really good time with this match. I thought this was actually a pretty good match. I thought this was a huge win for Tiffany, pinning her clean in the middle of the ring. But there was fight between these two ladies. Like you can tell that they did not like each other, but they were definitely keeping it professional. And I thought they kept it professional enough to really put together a really enjoyable match. For me personally, I have no doubt that Tiffany Stratton is certainly the future. But I think it means something. I would be kind of curious to see how okay Charlotte Flair was with taking this L here. But I think Tiffany certainly proved herself in the past couple of weeks, and maybe earned herself this WrestleMania moment. But I thought it was a pretty solid title match for sure. So we go from LA Knight, great title match, Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte again. I thought a really good match between these ladies. And then right after that, we go into the main event, Rollins versus Punk versus Reigns, that we talked a little bit about. But yeah, still crazy as hell swerve. What do we have for night 2? We already talked a little bit about the Io and Rhea triple threat match. Honestly, I still think that's my favorite match of the night, guys, of WrestleMania as a whole, is the Io, Rhea, and Bianca. It was just clean. There was just like great story told. While I appreciate all the Rollins and Punk and Reigns, great story told and really great swerve. I love the idea of this being a really clean, creative win and victory for Io. No shenanigans or anything like that. I'm probably gonna give it to them. And then we had the what was the next one? Oh, the Sin City match. That's right. We had ourselves a Sin City street fight on night 2 as we had Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. First off, Damian Priest's entrance was sick. I mean, the man came out to whip ass. I mean, you could just tell that Slayer solo entrance too was ridiculous, and something just really felt different about Damian Priest here tonight. Like he legit looked like a main eventer. He moved like a main eventer. I honestly thought after seeing his entrance that I'm like, dude, this guy's gonna win. This dude's gonna win. Great table spots in here, hard hitting, and I put in my notes, Priest looks main event to me, if that was even kind of still up for debate. I think he did a really good job here with facing off against Drew McIntyre. I will say something though. Did you guys notice when Drew McIntyre first came out to the ring, my man was like, he looked pissed. He looked like he was ready to get out of that getup. Like he was ripping off his robe, his arm gauntlets. He was like tossing them into the crowd, tossing them on the ground. Homeboy looked pissed. I don't know if he was pissed because he was like, I just want to get to wrestling, or if he was pissed because his costume looked like a Party City costume. Like, did you guys? I think that's the trend for WrestleMania here, with the exception of maybe like Rhea, who had the cool like crown that kind of resembled, like it kind of reminded me of like a Triple H kind of crown, but it had like the skeleton fingers in front of her. I thought her mask was great, along with Cody Rhodes' mask with the it comes up automatically. I thought that looked legit on camera. Outside of those two, oh, and Bianca Belair's like robe of roses was really legit from like just a costume perspective. But outside of that, everybody else's stuff for some reason looked like 3D models of costume pieces, like unfinished stuff. Really like low tier craftsman stuff, something that you would get from like Party City legitly, or like a Ren Fair cosplay type of store. Like it was just really weird to me. I was kind of surprised that a lot of these costumes look so downgraded this year. But yeah, Drew looked like he was ready to get out of his for sure and just get down to business. We talked a little bit about the IC title with Dominic already winning. And on my notes, I said 3 bangers of a match into night 2. I mean, yeah, the triple threat match, Damian and Drew, which was great and hard hitting. The IC title match, it just felt different, right? And then after that, we wind up getting the Joe Hendry spot, which was like, oh my God, I can't believe freaking Joe Hendry's here. Getting a great opportunity and just a big proclamation to like all big wrestling promotions out there. Like this could be you one day, so really great moment. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this feels like WrestleMania to me. This feels like a freaking great WrestleMania. And then we got AJ Styles and Logan Paul. I'm thinking to myself, oh, we're going to have another banger. That was kind of like the disappointment of the night. If anything, though, 2 things out of that AJ Styles and Logan Paul match: that impressive moonsault by Paul, where when I saw AJ land, I'm like, what is this guy doing? And he hits the lion salt, and I didn't realize just how far across the ring AJ Styles was at the time, but really impressive lion salt. And then I also love the doubles Styles clash where Logan hits it and then AJ immediately gets up and hits it back on him. I didn't really care for the finish. Felt a little bit underwhelming to me. And Logan Paul, unfortunately, picks up the W here. The Becky Lynch return was like, and then we get the Becky Lynch return on top of that. And I'm like, yo, this is such a WrestleMania moment. Like this feels like WrestleMania. This is crazy. I had no idea she was coming back. And then for her to win it, and then for Lyra to be a 2-belt champ, like what? Like that was crazy to me. Props to Lyra for being able to have that on her record for sure. And then yeah, the John Cena, Cody Rhodes stuff, the underwhelming Travis Scott, just an underwhelming finish to me. Hard, yeah. And also I think what also bothered me was how Cody, like, the moment of hesitation, just because John tells him, please, please stop. Like, that's almost not believable to me. And I say that in the sense of like, we literally have gone and watched you guys spar with each other on the mic and say some of the craziest things to each other. Like at this point, a sorry is like nothing. Like a sorry or a please, just hold on. Like I wouldn't even think that that would even register for any of these dudes. I would think you just want to bust these people's ass into like a bloody pulp and pull out the victory sort of thing. So the fact that Cody was like hesitant and he gave, you know, he gave John Cena the opening. I was just like, I just didn't believe it. It just felt weak. It didn't feel like something that I mean, I get it. He's the American nightmare, and he's like, Cody's always gonna have that nice part of his soul in him, and he's always gonna do the right thing. It's the moral code. But at some point in time, it's like, bro, just clock this dude. You know, like I've been talking shit to each other for 3 weeks now. Just clock this dude. What are you holding up for saying he's sorry now? Like it's just things like that I'm just like, ugh. They really rubbed me the wrong way. Like that's how you decided to finish this match with him, like getting weak in the knees now at this for his moment. Like, no, I don't. It's hard to believe. It's just really hard to believe for me. But yeah, John Cena, number 17, baby, well deserved, but definitely deserved a better match for sure. But yeah, and that does it for all of our WrestleMania stuff. What a weekend, man. What a weekend. Let's see what some of you guys are saying. Hungry says, after watching how slower AJ is, I'm starting to see why he says he's not going to wrestle till 50. It's looking like AJ might have 2 years left in him max, unfortunately. I want to see AJ versus Cena, AJ versus Punk, and maybe one last world title win. Doesn't have to be a reign. I'll even accept him winning the title and then getting cashed in on. I gotcha. Yeah. He was a dumb baby face. I'm wondering who you're talking about there. Cena learned from the best. Oh yeah, he was the dumb baby face talking about Cody. Yeah. I was like, what? That doesn't feel like Cody to me though, Cena learned from the best, from the dirtiest player in the game. Yeah, like it was definitely fitting. Like it truly was fitting. Like cheating to win, especially your 17th when you're trying to outwin Ric Flair. Like sometimes you got to do dirty shit, man. And Cena was not above it. And he did what he had to do, and he took advantage of that weak morale aspect of Cody Rhodes. But I'm pretty sure if they meet again, that won't be the same thing. But yeah, it just felt like an odd choice for them to be like, okay, Cody, and then when this happens, you're gonna doubt yourself. Like, what? Bro, I've been wanting to kick this man's ass for like 3 weeks now. I'm not down shit. Like, you're not about to stop me. But he got stopped. It was really bananas to me. But look, man, overall, I'm a fan. I'm always gonna be a fan. Great stuff. Could have been better. Yeah, absolutely. Again, I give it night 1 a 7. I'll give night 2 a 9. I'll average that out to an 8 overall for WrestleMania. Yeah, but night 2 was really great. It felt like WrestleMania again. But we'll see you guys next year. Well, we won't see you guys next year. We'll see you guys next month for our next set of predictions here. I don't even know what the next one is. The next one Backlash? It's usually Backlash, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll definitely see you guys for Backlash. It'll be myself, Josh, Datila, and I believe we might actually have Indy back on board now. I think he's ready to come back. He's got his camera and his mic. So we'll be introducing our other member here, the WrestleManiacs podcast in Indy. It's been a minute for some of y'all, or maybe some of you newcomers have not met Indy yet, but hopefully he'll certainly be here next month for predictions. As far as our predictions winner goes, it is time for us to acknowledge Josh Porosky. Congratulations, Josh. I acknowledge you. Our projections tribal chief for certainly coming through. Night 1 was what really put it over the top for him. He got 6 out of the 7 matches correct. He predicted Jade, Fatu, New Day, Tiffany, and Rollins. And then night 2, I think we all had the same. I think we had an outcome of 4 wins, 2 losses, but you add them all up, 2 nights. The 2-night winner, with a record of 10-3, 10 matches correct, 3 incorrect. Josh Porosky taking home our predictions title for WrestleMania, baby, the biggest crown of them all. So yeah, I really almost want to. I almost want to start like a wrestling league, like a fantasy league, where we do this monthly. Like it'll be a year-long tournament, like WrestleMania to WrestleMania or Backlash to WrestleMania. Adding up all our predictions for throughout the year, maybe even some confidence points here or there as well. So yeah, if we can keep this up for like a year straight of predictions, I think it'd be pretty cool to add like some level, like a fantasy wrestling league with this one or something like that, just to add some flavor to things. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll talk with the group about it. But look, guys, thank you so much for certainly joining me for WrestleMania weekend. And the Monday night after Raw. Don't know if we'll have one for SmackDown. I'll see what Josh is available for. But regardless, we'll certainly, if you don't see us for Raw, SmackDown, we'll definitely be back here for next month's predictions, as we always are every month for you guys. But other than that, that will do it for me here today, guys. In the meantime, do me a big favor, as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A+. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.